He cheated on me on a Tuesday. 2 weeks later, he called from a block number and asked for my help. I was in the grocery aisle, cold air pouring out of the dairy case, the hum of the refrigerator louder than his breathing on the line. "Maya, it's me. Please. I don't know who else to call." My fingers tightened around a carton of milk. Condensation slick against my skin. "You chose someone else to call months ago," I said softly. Silence. A hospital monitor beeping somewhere behind his voice. Footsteps. A door hinge sighing. "My mother's in ICU. I need the insurance info. I messed up. Please." I closed my eyes, smelled antiseptic that wasn't there yet. Just memory from the last time I'd sat in those vinyl chairs. "Okay," I whispered. "I'll help." And that was the moment. The exact second. My plan began to breathe. He thought help meant saving him. I meant helping him finally meet the consequences he'd been sprinting from. We lived in Seattle, where the rain taps out a rhythm on your windows and makes it easy to ignore the sound of your own doubt. Ethan and I had been together 7 years, married 3. He worked late at the agency, a marketing firm with neon slogans and cold brew on tap. I taught literature at a high school in Ballard, under warm lamps and posters of Baldwin and Morrison. It started as nothing, the way these things do. He tilted his phone away when I walked by. He came home shaved on a Saturday at 10 p.m. with the smell of hotel soap and citrus cologne. He said the gym helped him think, and bought new sneakers, and started using words like optics about our marriage. I told myself I was imagining it, because imagining it felt safer than knowing it. The proof arrived on a crumpled receipt, folded into the pocket of his coat while I did the laundry. 2 cocktails, a shared dessert, a boutique hotel room charge at the Pali Hotel, and a lipstick color I didn't own, pressed like a small wound into the corner of a napkin. I didn't confront him, not right away. I did what every literature teacher does when life falls apart. I took notes, dates, times, locations, a quiet ledger no one could argue with. When I finally asked, he didn't deny it. He leaned on the kitchen island, hands flat, said the words like a memo. "It just happened? I didn't plan it. I feel alive again." Alive. As if the life we had built was a coma he barely survived. Her name was Lila. 26. Swipe right smile. Junior designer at his firm. She wore rings on every finger and said things like main character energy. He said we needed space. I said we needed honesty. He packed a weekend bag, and space turned into silence. I didn't beg. I didn't chase. I changed the passwords, moved my direct deposit to a different account, had my friend Kat, a paralegal, explain what separate property means in Washington State. I canceled the second line on our phone plan and kept the number I'd had since college. The first night without him, the apartment felt too clean. 2 empty glasses on the drying rack, a dent in the pillow where his head used to be, the faint scent of cedar body wash clinging to the towels, like a memory that refused to evaporate. 2 weeks later, That call in the grocery store. ICU. His mother. Insurance. Ethan's mom, Elaine, had always liked me. Saved my texts about recipes. Sent me photos of birds on her morning walks. She once told me I was the daughter she never had, so I went. I drove through mist and brake lights across the I-5, the wipers ticking time with my heart. The hospital's automatic doors breathed me in, and that antiseptic smell erased whatever was left of my appetite. ICU is quiet in a way that makes your thoughts loud. A nurse with gentle eyes pointed me to a family room with bad coffee and a soft couch. Ethan stood in the doorway, older somehow, smaller, his shoulders sagging under a jacket that used to make him look invincible. "Maya?" he said, a single word hanging between us like a bridge made of glass. "Where is she?" I asked. He glanced down the hall. "They're running tests. I don't have the policy number. I changed the portal password when I moved out, and..." He trailed off, shame blooming like a bruise. I handed him a folder. Paper. Old school. Because paper doesn't log you out. Primary policy, secondary. Prescription plan. List of her meds. Allergies, I said. He blinked. "You kept all of this?" "I keep what matters," I said, and walked past him toward the nurse's station. Helping didn't mean forgetting. Helping didn't mean I would hold his hand while he learned a lesson I never volunteered to teach. It meant I would protect Elaine and protect myself at the billing office. Fluorescent lights hummed. The carpet smelled faintly like steam cleaner and coffee. "I'm listed as emergency contact and benefits manager for Elaine Carter," I told the administrator. She nodded, typed. The keyboard clicked like rain on a metal roof. "We'll need updated signatures. And a caregiver designation if you're coordinating," she said. "No problem," I replied. "Also, please note that Ethan and I are separated. Financial decisions require my approval if my name is attached." I signed what protected her. And me. No one would be charging a hotel room to my card under the fog of crisis. No one would use the emergency to bind me back to a man who had severed us cleanly with the word alive. Ethan's phone buzzed. He flinched, red, turned the screen face down. I saw the name anyway. Lila, of course. ICU rooms have windows. Thick panes where you can pretend distance is safety. Through the glass I saw Elaine, hair gray and soft against the pillow, a bruise blossoming along the crook of her arm where the IV sat. I pressed my palm to the glass, and for a second, I felt every holiday dinner, every birthday call, every warm hug at the door. Lila arrived an hour later. She wore an oversized blazer and white sneakers. She looked like the end of one story and the messy beginning of another. She tried to kiss Ethan in the hallway. He turned his cheek. It landed awkwardly, like a question that didn't belong here. Lila's eyes slid to me. "You must be." "The wife," I said. "For now." She swallowed. I'm sorry about his mom." "Me too," I said. "You should put your phone away. The light bothers patients." Her phone disappeared so fast I almost smiled. The next 48 hours were a loop of beep, swish, whisper, I slept in the car twice. Used hospital coffee to keep my heart from cracking. Texted my students to tell them Miss Torres would be out for a few days. Between scans and consults, I reviewed my ledger, hotel receipts, Lyft rides at 1:14 a.m. to addresses I could map with 2 clicks. The dinner with the candlelit photo I found on Lila's public Instagram. His hand in the corner of the frame. The watch I'd given him on our anniversary, gleaming like a confession. I didn't post. I didn't threaten. I documented. Because people can rewrite a story. But they can't edit a timestamp. When the cardiologist came with good news, I exhaled so hard my whole body shook. Elaine would need a procedure, but her prognosis was strong. Ethan pinched the bridge of his nose. Relief and fear mixing like oil and water. "Thank you for the insurance, for everything," he said. "This was for her," I replied, "not for you." He nodded, eyes glistening. "I made a mistake." "No," I said. "You made a choice, and then another, and then another, until it all looked like a life." On day 3, Lila tried to take over. She went to the nurse's station, asked to sign forms, used the word family like a key to a door she hadn't earned. The nurse looked at me, then back at her, and slid the paper toward me instead. Lila's face flushed. "This is humiliating," she whispered to Ethan. "This is reality," I said. Not unkindly. "You wanted the rush. This is the invoice." She stared, and I watched the knowledge land. Affairs always feel like parallel universes where nothing costs what it costs in daylight. But hospitals only accept daylight. Ethan rubbed his jaw, stubble rasping. "Maya? Can we talk?" "We are talking," I said. "But if you mean, can we start over?" The answer is no. He swallowed. "I didn't love you right." "You didn't love you right," I said. "So you borrowed it from someone else." Elaine's surgery was scheduled for Friday morning. Thursday night the sky cleared. The city lights crisp and sharp beyond the parking garage. I leaned against the cool concrete, tasted metal in the air. Ethan found me there. He held a paper cup of coffee like it might explain him. "I need one more thing," he said, voice small. I let the silence stretch. "We lapsed on the supplemental coverage," he admitted. "I thought I set up the autopay." "I didn't. There's a penalty to reinstate. I can't cover it right now." 2 months ago, he'd put a hotel on a shared card and captioned a photo, "Fresh Starts," on his private account. Now he couldn't cover a penalty to reinstate the coverage that would make his mother's care easier. I stared at him and felt something settle in me. Not anger, not satisfaction. Something older. A decision. "I'll fix it," I said. "For Elaine." He blinked. "Thank you. And Ethan." I added, "After this, we're done. Legal separation. Division of assets. Signatures. I've already asked Kat to draft." He opened his mouth, closed it, nodded. "Okay." Friday morning smelled like hand soap and lemon wipes. I held Elaine's hand until they rolled her away. Her fingers were cool, but her grip was stubborn as always. "You're my girl," she whispered. "Always," I said, and meant it, even if nothing else stayed the same. While we waited, the surgeon's timeline crawled. Lila scrolled through her phone until Ethan told her to stop. He stared at the floor like there were answers in the tiles. When the doctor finally smiled, I let tears come. It's strange how relief can feel heavier than fear. We filed into recovery, machines humming like a small orchestra. Elaine blinked up at us, squeezed my hand, and closed her eyes again. 2 days later, I brought a box, his spare keys, the navy sweater he forgot in the dryer, the hardcover he never finished because stories take too long. I set it on the hospital chair, between us like a small, polite wall. "What's this?" he asked. "Closure," I said, "and clarity." I slid a document across the tray table. Separation agreement, division of assets. Simple, fair. He skimmed, went pale. "The condo stays with me," I said. "I paid the down payment from my premarital savings. Your name is off the deed. The Subaru is yours. The credit card you used for your fresh start is now closed. The balance you created is yours too." He swallowed hard. "You've been planning this." "I've been protecting myself," I said. "There's a difference." Lila hovered near the door. "This is a lot," she whispered. "It's adulthood," I said. "Welcome." He signed, slowly, like the pen weighed more than it should. When he handed it back, his hand shook. Elaine stabilized, moved from ICU to a quiet room with a view of a maple tree that flickered gold when the sun found it. I visited each day, read to her when she woke, left her favorite lavender lotion on the table. On my last night there, she was awake. "You're leaving me with him," she teased, voice rasping, a smile tugging her lips. "I'm leaving him with himself," I said, and we both laughed, softly, because laughing too loud in a hospital feels like breaking a rule. She grew serious. "You did right by me, and by you." I kissed her forehead, the skin warm, papery, familiar. "I love you," I said. "I love you more," she whispered, and closed her eyes in the hallway. Ethan waited, hands in his pockets like a boy called to the principal's office. "Maya?" he started. "No speeches," I said. "Just the truth. You were careless with something precious. That's what happened." He nodded, eyes wet. "I thought I needed excitement," he said. "You needed courage," I replied. "They're not the same." I turned to go. He reached out, stopped himself, let his hand fall. "Thank you for saving her," he said. "She saved me first," I answered. "You just never noticed. Seattle does this thing after a storm, where the sky turns the color of a bruise, then suddenly splits, and light pours in like apology." Weeks passed. I moved his name out of the drawers where it lingered. I painted the bedroom a quiet green. I made coffee at dawn with the window cracked, the damp air kissing my ankles. Lila posted a quote about growth through discomfort, then another about choosing yourself. A month later, her profile was private. Someone told someone who told me they weren't together anymore. It didn't matter. They were never the center of my story, only the catalyst. Elaine sent me a photo of the maple tree outside her rehab window. The caption said, "Still here." I printed it, taped it to the fridge, right under the magnet that says, "Begin again." One afternoon, I stood in front of my students. They were reading The Wife of Bath and arguing about desire and power and how language can make a cage feel like a choice. I watched them, all of them, so young and trying, and I felt it. The clean line where the hurt had been. That night I walked to Golden Gardens. The waves slapped the shore. The air smelled like salt and smoke from someone's distant barbecue. I sat on a driftwood log until the cold reached my bones, and when I finally stood, my body felt like mine again, months later. I saw Ethan across a crosswalk downtown. He looked up, saw me, lifted a hand. I nodded. Polite as weather, there are endings you're given. And endings you write. He handed me the first. I wrote the second. He cheated on me on a Tuesday. 2 weeks later, he called and asked for help. And I helped. I helped his mother breathe easier. I helped my bank account remember my name. I helped my heart unlearn someone else's rhythm when I locked my door that night. The key turned with a sound I'll never forget. A small click, like punctuation. The kind you use when you've said enough, sometimes. Help isn't a hand that pulls someone back. It's a boundary, steady and kind. And sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't a storm. It's weathering one. And stepping into the sun you make yourself.